Hey y'all, I'm sure you're all probably either out tonight or watching the NFL playoffs right now. I'm looking to get home so I can watch that Seahawks-Dallas game, hoping the damn Dallas loses. But just a quick little note, Sixers are at home, first time in 2019. They defeat the Mavericks, barely. Again, another nail-biting freaking win with this team. We were up big. We were up 18 or 20 at one point. So you thought you were going to cruise coast, but again, we struggle in the fourth quarter. We struggle to generate points. The offense gets lackadaisical. We let teams get in. We play absolutely no defense. The lane is wide open. I mean, dear God, it's as wide as freaking 95 over here. It is just no resistance at all when they get to the 10, and then you have to have late rotation over by Embiid, and he gets close to foul trouble. Thank God that didn't go into overtime, because I don't think we would have won. And Dallas isn't very good. You look at their team, nobody really had a great game. Luka Doncic didn't really do anything. Wes Matthews came up big at the end. He was nailing them threes. What's up, Eric? What's up, Mitch? But, oh yeah, you ready for tomorrow, Mitch? I'm sure you are, bro. Eagles and Bears. But it's just, we have to look to close out and draw up better plays at the end of games. Everybody in the building and everybody in the team knows it's going to go to Embiid, okay? They're going to triple cover him. Other guys have to step up. We had 3 starters that were over 20 points, so I thought we played well. You look at this game, and you look at the score, 106-100, and you look at the numbers, you would figure we would have won by a landslide, but letting teams back in this is just, it's getting old, man. Like, it stresses everybody out. You can't do this when you're playing sub 500 teams, okay? You got to be able to shut the door on these guys, so when you do play superior talent like we have, and we struggle a bit, you've got to, use this as a template, as a learning plate, as a learning mechanism. But it's just like the same old shit, different day. Brett Brown, again, struggles to draw up anything. And now you have this whole debacle. I just want to put this to bed about Jimmy Butler and the whole Brett Brown BS. Let's not feed into it. I think it's being blown out of proportion. It's the media kind of running around with this as well. I'm not too worried about it, although I feel Jimmy's frustrations because we did trade for him and he barely gets incorporated in the offense. And again, that's Brett Brown's fault. He's got to figure out a way to get the ball to him. He's a closer. We've seen what he's capable of. And I don't want people to jump on this bandwagon and be like, oh, look, we didn't want Jimmy. He's a cancer, blah, 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 blah. All right, he has a reason to be frustrated. The guy is definitely a top 15 player in this league. And you traded for him, and he's, like, getting lost in translation. And I would be frustrated if I was him too, but I don't want everybody to be like, this is why I didn't want Jimmy. He's a cancer in the locker room, blah, 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 blah. Nah. Put that to bed. Brett Brown came out and said it's bull. This is the media just trying to put its own spin on things. It's clickbait. It's garbage. So who even cares about that? And now with Jimmy out, you're looking to other players to step up, like Ben. And, you're going to need Korkmaz to step up. I think he had a big shot there in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and we needed a bucket. They moved the ball around out of a timeout, and he was able to hit a wide-open 3. Yeah, we know Brett's got to go. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I'm stating this now. We will never win a championship with Brett Brown at the helm. There's no doubt in my mind, because of what we've seen over the past 2 seasons. It's ridiculous. It's the same shit over and over and over and over again. We play 3.5 quarters, and then when it comes down to crunch time, we let teams get back into it. We can't rest our starters, so we're having to have them play extra minutes that they don't need to play. It's mind-boggling. There is no reason we shouldn't have been able to shut this door on this team early in the fourth quarter, being up 20. Most good teams can kind of coast, bring in their bench, but we can't do that. And that just goes back to Brett Brown not being able to rotate and all this shit. Stuff we've already talked about. Just an ugly win again. I thought everybody played well on our side. No real complaints. Ben Simmons got his triple-double, so everybody's excited about that. Do I still want to trade Ben for Luka? Bro, that was just a hypothetical. It's not like I'm, like, sitting here with a pitchfork calling for Ben Simmons' name. But if there was a chance, up until this point, what I've seen, I still like Luka Doncic, honestly. But that was a hypothetical last video when I said this. Again, it's not like I hate Ben Simmons and I don't want him on this team. It's just there's irregularities that I see in his game. It is what it is, you know. So we'll have to see what Luka does as his growth continues. But I like what I saw out of when he played in Boston last night. I think he's going to be a very good player in this league. So, you know, we will see though. You know, now with Jimmy being out, you need Ben Simmons to step up. I thought he had a decent game tonight. Pretty good. You know, no complaints on my end with any of our players other than the defense was not there towards the end of the fourth quarter. We have no offensive rhythm. Ben took a lot of jumpers tonight and looked pretty good tonight. Yeah, he did. I was okay with Ben. He was chilling tonight, okay? It's just all consistency. That's all I want to see out of Ben. Growth and consistency. That's all I want to see out of that man. And if he can continue to do this, I want to see him do this against the big teams, the big players. I think Jonas should still start once Chandler could come back. I think he plays well. He complements Embiid's game because he has the ability to stretch the floor, and that's what you need with Joel Embiid. You need a power forward that's going to be able to, you know, draw the defense out from inside the paint because that's where most of our scoring comes from, especially with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid with doing work on the block. So we've always said that since Embiid came here, he's always needed to play with a stretch four, and that we thought maybe Dario would be that guy. He just struggled when he was in the starting lineup when he was here, so it didn't really work. But Jonah has earned some playing time, I'd have to say. You know, he's struggled defensively earlier in the season. I think he doesn't look bad, Eric. I mean, he's raw. So, again, I think he's earned some minutes from the play that he's had over the past couple games with Chandler being out. I don't know if Brett Brown's going to keep it that way, but as long as we keep winning games, why mess with the formula? I'm a 26-year-old, and these Sixers have given me so much heart. Yeah, I know, bro. It's taken years off my life, too. It's very stressful. It's like every game you can't rely on them shutting the door. That's being a Philly sports fan. If you lived in Philly or have watched all of Philly sports, it's not only the Sixers. It's just all of them. It's the Eagles, it's the Phillies. I don't watch hockey, but I'm sure it's the Flyers, too. It's just the way it is. It's like we're cursed and we cannot just dominate ever. It's always got to be a close call. But stuff has to change as we get tougher in the end of January here. So we should hopefully be able to coast past these next couple games. We have the Wizards on Tuesday. Would have been nice if it didn't back out of his agreement on it. Yeah, I mean, he would add another shooter, Philly. I wish we could say Keith Pompey, don't I? Yeah, dude, Keith Pompey is garbage, man. He's such a clickbait troll. I cannot stand that man. He honestly just goes against the grain to grab attention, to piss people off. He's the king troll. He's king troll in Philly right now for the shit that he posts. It's all he twists people's words around. He tries to pin other people to get them just so people will read his crap because he's not talented. So don't ever believe or read anything Keith Pompey puts out there or publishes or anything like that. He's trash. But, you know, we have this stretch up here where we should be able to collect another 4 wins. What do you think about Shake Milton today? I like Shake. I liked Shake when we got him, when we drafted him. I think he brings potential. He's a bigger guard that has the ability to shoot. You know, he's a rookie that's not really going to lock down defenses. That I think when we get Zaire, if we do get back, he's going to help with these guards being able to penetrate our defense, like, nonchalantly. There's just no resistance from our guards being able to guard. You look at Shammy, look at TJ McConnell. It's just too easy, and by the time the weak side defense comes over, it's too late. And it's just like that's why these teams are getting back into these games so quickly. It's just because there's no resistance, and Embiid gets in foul trouble, and then once you got him out of here, we're screwed. And that's what teams are going to look to do. They're going to look to attack Embiid, get him in foul trouble, get him out of the game, and let somebody else try to take over the game. He's our offensive force. He's our defensive force. He's the entire team at this point. JJ is a defensive liability as well. It's just you've got Embiid and Simmons that can guard. And then pretty much everybody else is just, it's like 5-on-2. It's very stressful to watch. That's why I wish Brett would either do a full court press or switch the defense up, go into a zone, do something other than what we do instead of trying to play man-to-man where they get the switches really easy. Yes, I don't know why they don't draw any down screens for Jimmy. They draw up no plays. They just want him to kind of... Hey, what's up? Don't tell me anything, Cowboys Factor. I'm taping that game, so I don't want to hear anything about the Dallas game. But they got to be drawing up more plays and get Jimmy more acclimated, because if he's not going to feel like he's worthy of being here, he's going to leave. We're not going to be able to re-sign him. And I still think that's BS that him and Brett Brown, he's not happy with his role. He might have just mentioned something, and then Pompey, I think that's who released it. It's just everything's being blown out of proportion. But I do think they have to draw more plays up for Jimmy Butler. I was going to mention it, but good win with the Sixers. Yeah, thanks, man. I think you're a Mavs fan too, aren't you? Cowboys X Factor? I think the Mavs have a bright future with their backcourt and Luka Doncic and Dennis Smith Jr. Didn't really show tonight, but they're right in that transition. Dirk didn't play because they don't play back-to-backs. So this might be the last time I ever get to see Dirk in a stadium in even a uniform. I was blessed enough to see him play a couple years ago. I won't mention anything about the other Dallas football team. Your team has a bright future, that's for sure. Cuban is a genius GM. I really wish he was the Sixers GM. He knows what he's doing. I think he made a great trade to acquire Luka Doncic, and he gave up nothing. He gave up a protected first-round pick to jump up 2 spots to get a potential leader and a potential star in Luka. That guy. He is a savage. He is the owner, and he's the GM. I don't know if he's changed that in recent years, but he owns the Mavs, yeah. As a Bulls fan, I really think we made the right trade. Come on, man. Don't hate on Jimmy. I mean, I get why Jimmy is the way he is. I don't see that as a bad thing, though. He's had to fight and claw for everything that he's gotten to this point in his career. And for everything that's happened, I don't blame him for whatever. But you guys got a good haul. Zach LaVine's a stud, and so is Lauri Markkanen. So you got some nice building blocks to go off there. But, if you're banking on Jimmy you got to keep people happy, okay? And if he feels like he's not being incorporated, which we've all seen it throughout the month and a half that he's been here, it's just like Jimmy has to kind of create his own shots. No plays get drawn up for him. It's like he's out there playing street ball. He's gotta score off of putbacks, and nothing gets drawn up for him. And that is 100% Brett Brown. A lot of this is Brett Brown, as we know. They're going to move Chandler. That's fine. We need more depth on this team. Brett Brown is not a good coach. I agree with you. I'm not going to change your mind. He's crap. Of the way Jimmy is. Jimmy brings tenacity, he brings defense, he brings you a guy that you can lean on at the end of the game other than Embiid. He's a closer, he can shoot, he shoots a high percentage from downtown. See how Derrick Rose is second in the Western. Yeah, I'm happy for D Rose too. He was a stud when he was with Chicago. It's a shame all those injuries kind of hampered his career. He's a little bit older and a little past his, 29, 30, so I'm glad to see he's bounced back. We need other vets. We need more depth on this team. So I just want Elton Brand to stop sitting on his hands and to move. Make a move, something. We need to make a push. If you see our team is struggling still, and now you got Jimmy out with a respiratory infection, and we're back to square one with the team that we had in the beginning of the season. Chandler is hurt. Jimmy Butler is not here because he's sick. You don't have your rookies. And they've got a little, and Shamit and Korkmaz have a little bit under their belt, but they didn't exercise the option on Korkmaz, so I don't know if they don't want to bring him back next season, or they're trying to just create more money so they can re-sign Butler, possibly, to throw the kitchen sink at him. I think Korkmaz has played decent for his real first year playing with the team and getting some minutes. He's got a wet jumper. He hit that big shot back-to-back nights. On that West Coast trip, he had a big 3 against Phoenix to put us up, and then tonight, I think he hit a big 3 to put us up 7, I believe. Not hating the Bull fans, but I really think one more off season. Dude, I've completely forgot Markelle Fultz is the owner on this team. I don't think he's coming back. He's a lost cause at this point. I'm really just looking forward to Zaire Smith getting back with this team again because of what he can bring and aid this team in making a push to the playoffs. With his ability to guard 1 through 4, he's quick, he's good in transition. And again, he can't shoot, but he can defend, and we need more defenders on this team, especially at the top of the key that can guard 1s and 2s. So, Chandler, we made that trade to get him. He's a little seasoned vet, and he might be getting hurt because he's playing so many minutes. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Fultz. I don't know if we can really rely on what's going on with him because it could be physical or it could be all up here. I don't really know if that thoracic thing is a true thing or not. I'm not sold on that. Is he going to go through all of the intangibles because I've heard players have gotten ribs removed to help fix that thoracic thing? Is he going to go as far as getting that done so we believe that this is the true issue? I don't know if we are, Kirk. I don't get to see Adrian all that much. We'll try to set something up, but I just do these videos right when I walk out of the center. It's right over there if you can see it. He's doing his own thing. I know he's got a lot of going on with football and all, but I don't get to see Adrian all that much, but I'll mention it to him. So, we just got to find out better ways to get this shit, dude. Again, teams below 500. We got the Wizards coming up twice. We got Atlanta. We got the New York Knicks. Starting January 15th is where it's going to be tough. We have to go out to... I thought that Minnesota game was at home, but they were saying today it's out in Minnesota. So, it's tough to win on the road as is, but they're not a half-bad team. We always seem to struggle. KAT in that great battle with Embiid, so it should be a fun game to watch. We get to see our players that we traded to Minnesota. Is Ben Simmons a stat patter? Tough to say. I don't know. He always seems like he's always playing for that triple-double, but that's just his game. So, I personally would like to see him more as a go-to scorer than really a facilitator. But you can affect the game by doing both of those things. I just feel like scoring the basketball will be more important. Yeah, he does. I mean, Embiid's unbelievable. And I think that one shot that movie put on Powell that he blocked, that was goaltending. Love to see your guys, the draft. Kirk, I missed that. Sorry, bro. But, Simmons is always... In every game, he's always getting close to playing or getting a triple-double. Although, I have noticed... except for tonight, but a lot of the games that he's played, when he's being a go-to scorer, rather than that, he doesn't really look to facilitate, obviously, so his numbers are always down. So if he's ever scoring like 29, he'll have like maybe 4 assists or 6 rebounds. But tonight he had an overall good game because he had 14 assists, I think, 11 rebounds, and 20 points. So I thought he was aggressive enough to where he was putting the ball back and looking to go down on the block and looking to push as well as trying to facilitate and get rebounds. Like, I'm okay with that then, dude. Just as long as he's got that killer instinct and he can do all the other, she'll be fine with that. But triple-double is not tough for Ben Simmons to get. Simmons shoots a corner 3 every game. My life would be complete. Hey, man. He hit that turnaround jumper finally. It was ugly as hell, but it went in. So, he's got 1 shot every game now. Let's try to tick it up. And I've seen in shoot-around, he'll go around the world and hit threes. He hit 5 threes in a row. It's just the confidence isn't there for whatever reason to do it in a game. Because I think of his style of play, the way he plays, he really isn't out on the perimeter. But if they're daring him to shoot, I wish he would just pull up. Trust Russell Westbrook coming out of the West. Do you trust Russell Westbrook and OKC coming out of the West? Yeah, they're a nice team. I really like the way they're playing with Paul George. They've got another year under their belt, so look out for them. Yeah, I don't like that post fadeaway, though, Philly. Ben just needs to start shooting in the game. Yeah, that's what's holding Ben Simmons back, as we all know. It's that jumper. It's going to be talked about in the verbatim. It's going to be beating a dead horse. Until he starts taking more and hitting the shots, that is always going to loom over his head. Again, though, it won't matter as much. I feel like people won't hamper on it as much if he takes it strong and goes to the line more rather than, being a little non-aggressive, and he'll penetrate and then he'll stop real quick because I feel like he's looking to pass first rather than going to score. So I feel like if he goes to the 10 more and gets fouled and gets points from the free throw line, something else that I feel like he doesn't feel comfortable doing because he's a piss-poor free throw shooter, the only way to get better is practice, bro. So get out of your own head. Who cares if you miss shots? Just get to the line. All right, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here because I want to go watch that Dallas-Seattle game. You coming? Yeah, and we're gonna be playing them at the end of the month, so it's gonna be a tall task. We're gonna face them, San Antonio. Like I said, Minnesota. Even though I think they're 17-22, that's still a tough matchup out there in Wisconsin. Or Minneapolis, Minnesota. What the hell am I talking about, Wisconsin? I'm thinking of the freaking Bucks. Good God. All right, on that note, I'm getting out of here. This is Kyle Gaffner with the Bitter Birds. What do you think the major issue is with this team? Why can we not close out games? Is it strictly just Brett Brown? Do you see players taking off? What do y'all think? Leave it in the comment section, and go Eagles tomorrow. Let's get it done. Let's hope Dallas gets knocked out tonight. Screw you, Dallas. Texas got knocked out. We just took down the Mavericks. It's a bad next 2 days for the state of Texas. All right, peace.